Welcome. This is the beginning of the How to Green Beret series. This is a team room environment so you can leave your feelings outside. This is for those wanting to become Green Berets or learn more about what it takes to be a Green Beret. This is uncut, unfiltered. This is not going to be pretty like Instagram. There's no filters here. It just is what it is, just like real life. I realized that there was a need for this as I went through my training and became more and more senior on the teams. And what I realized was there's less and less mentorship going on in society and in the military as well. As I started to participate in some of the tryouts for those trying to become Green Berets, guys were showing up and they didn't know how to pack a rucksack. They didn't know how to even just like lacing their boots. They would have their boots too tight, so their feet would be all jacked up. Their water sources, placement of weight, just so many little things that were just jacked up, and that's just the ruck, which is a huge part of going through the training to be a Green Beret. You got to have that on point. But they just showed up unprepared. Those, as I was going through my training, those that had somebody that had a clue that was either a Green Beret or had been to selection, maybe they didn't make it for whatever reason. There's always reasons. Somebody gave them a clue. There's also a handful of people that are just hard-headed and they just kept doing it, and it took them 2, 3, 4 tries, whatever, each stage. I know one guy, and he knows who I'm talking about, but he went through each phase at least twice, but he eventually got out the other side. He's an amazing Green Beret now. But those that were successful had a mentor. And I'd say in life, those that are successful generally have some kind of mentor, because it's been done before, and somebody to bounce ideas off of, things like this. And that's what this series is all about. It's to give those qualified, quality individuals access to somebody who's made it through the program, did pretty well in the program, and give some insight into the mentality, into just some of the small things that'll make your life so much easier in the field. End of the day, I'm not going to give you any. There's no secret. You got to carry heavy shit really far. It's going to suck. You're not going to sleep for days. You're going to have to. You're going to get. You're going to have to deal with all kinds of personalities, especially at the very beginning of your training, before they've selected people out that don't belong. You're going to have to not just tee off on people that are idiots. There's just some of the things you're going to have to do, but that kind of person, guess what? It doesn't end. You're going to go to Fort Bragg and do all this shit, and then you're going to go overseas and you have a partner force. And then you're going to be working with all kinds of different cultures and different people, men, women, whatever. They're going to be doing all kinds of wild stuff and asking you to do stuff you probably shouldn't be doing. And you're going to have to talk your way out of it in a way that's not going to offend, get yourself or your team killed, or, ruin rapport. And that's a lot of what being a Green Beret is all about, is building rapport. So being able to do that effectively is something that's, I think it's inherent. It's in you already. The biggest thing is, somebody actually told me, and I think they're just dead on. When you start the program, before you go out to Fort Bragg, you're like a hunk of iron or steel. Hopefully you're more of a steel because it's harder, right? But then you start getting shaped, and you start getting sharpened. And by the time you come out, you're pretty sharp. You're pretty sharp. And then you get to your team and you continue to sharpen and you continue to hone. And then, as your career goes on, you continue to sharpen and continue to hone. And then you're going to get some dings in your sword. You're going to have to continue to hone and sharpen. And it's just this constant battle. But you start out as this just block of metal. And we just kind of hone it out. Thing is, some people they just don't have the shape of a blade at all to begin with, and they were never destined to be one. So, and that's what selection does, is it finds those that are going to be capable and are good candidates to go through the program. Because even if you pass select, that's really the easiest day. You think you went through some hard stuff, and you did, but then you get to the rest of the training, and then shit gets real. So Hopefully we've piqued your interest. And then the goal here is to go through and hit different highlights, different aspects of what life might be like in Fort Bragg, from the training aspect, from choosing what MOS you might want to get into, general history of SF. We'll get some people on here talking about, their careers, retirees, currently serving, National Guard versus active duty. A lot of people don't even know there's 2 National Guard groups that deploy quite often, have access to all the same training, just a different lifestyle, different pluses and minuses depending on where you're at in life, and give you some real insight into which one might be better for you, things like that. So hope to see you on the next postings, and go ahead and subscribe so you can keep up with each time that we put out new material. And don't listen to those haters and dumbasses that are going to stomp on your dream because they never achieve theirs. See you on the next show.